I do have a question.
Very good.
Um, the words surrender and letting go are so integral to what we do. And I would just like you to talk about that if you would.
I have a whole chapter on that in my new book.
Yay.
No, I mean it,
Yeah.
I wrote a lot about that. Oh, by the way, it's finished. I've gone over it and edited. Now it needs, somebody, else to go over it and do a few things that would be easier for them to do. I mean, look, you can only fit so much water in a glass, you know, and when we're full of tension, understand there's no room for that metaphorical glass to receive any spiritual energy. When our minds, our emotions, our sexual energy are racked with tension, which is generally the case of most people all the time, there's no room for God. And when you talk about surrender, I'm talking about letting go of all the things that keep higher energy from flowing through your system. From you being open so you can be nurtured by this source of energy that comes directly from, the universe, spirit. How can you be nourished by that if you're just full of yourself? And people full of themselves are doing nothing but creating a lot of problems for themselves because it's basically just tension.
Mm.
And you as a chiropractor should know what tension does to people. It really just eats them alive. And that's how people live. And yet every day we're reminded we have to let go. You go to the grocery store, you got to let go of money. To get money, you got to let go of your time to work. You understand? Everything in life reminds us of letting go. To come to this meditation, you have to let go of something else that you might be able to be doing now. So all of life is a constant reminder that we have to let go of one thing in order to do another. And then it becomes a matter of what really is a priority. When a spiritual life is a priority, all the doors open to do it. When it's not a priority, there's always an excuse. There's something else. I got a job, I got a date, I got a this, I got a that, I don't feel well. There's always something that comes up to interfere with the process because the commitment isn't a priority. So all of this is about letting go. And ultimately, look, you got to let go of everything anyway. That's the absurdity in the whole thing. One day we all die, what do you hold on to? Nothing. You got to let it all go. It doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are, how famous you are. It all has to be let go. And all of inner work, spiritual practice is about learning to let go so that you can fill yourself with spiritual energy, a connection with higher energy in the universe that truly will give you a state of enlightenment. It'll free you from all of this illusion that goes on in the world that we think is so important. And people make themselves crazy. Money is a big one. And just as big are relationships. They make themselves crazy over all these things. And they're all transient. They all come and they go. The only thing that's permanent is a connection with spirit, which doesn't mean you can't have money and relationships, but they don't become God. They don't become priorities in one's life because They're all just learning elements that teach us about how transient everything is. And when you let go, then that energy, that spirit comes, and it really attracts to you everything you need to have to work out your karma, everything. If you got to make a lot of money, you'll make a lot of money. But the making of a lot of money is not for the sake of money, it's to learn how to do it so you can get free of it. It's like Rudy used to tell me, you're never free of things you haven't had. People can deny and they can, this and that. But until you have something, you can never get free of it because it teaches you that it's the third floor in the department store. And if you want to spend the rest of your life shopping there, that's where you're going to be. Or if you want to let go of it, you can go and shop and get back on the elevator, right up into the cosmos. And these are important things to really not just understand, but to live with, because people are so attached to illusion. The whole freaking world, all it does is, everything that goes on is about illusion. It's about transiency, things that have no substance. And yet we prioritize these things instead of saying, okay, I can do all these things, but they don't have me. I can get back on the elevator, connect with God. Then if I need to go shopping on the third floor again, I can take the elevator down there and go shopping. But shopping doesn't become God, which in the lives of people today, shopping is God. It's true. I mean, I had a girlfriend once who told me, she lives to shop. And I said, my God, I got to get out of this relationship. I'll shop till I drop. I mean, I like to shop. I have a house full of things I buy, but I'm not attached to any of it. It's just something I do. I get on the elevator, I go to that floor, I buy something, live with it for a while, and then it moves on. So that's really surrender and letting go. That's what it is. Doesn't mean you don't have things. It just means you're free of them. That elevator metaphor is terrific. You can always get on the elevator, go to the third floor and shop. Or the fourth floor or the fifth floor, you get back on the elevator and continue your voyage to God.
Hmm.
And part of the big test of being born here is to begin to distinguish between illusion and reality. And reality is an intangible force. And that's why most people can't grasp it. It's intangible. Spirit is intangible. A wardrobe is tangible. A house is tangible. Cars, all these things are supposed to make everybody happy. Find a happy person in this world. I tell you, I always say it'd be easy to find the Holy Grail. I hope that's clear, Pat. I don't know how to get it any clearer.
It's terrific, Stuart.
We're masters at chasing illusion. People really are, they're really so good at it. Chasing illusion. Does anyone else have a question? Anybody have a question? Anybody else? And it's not only with shopping, it's with the pain, the illnesses people have. They understand they almost bring these things upon themselves in order to get taken care of. It's strange, but it's true. You go to a hospital and you just listen to the cry in a hospital. It's all just people wanting to be taken care of.
Mm.
I mean, what they really starve for is somebody to love them. And that love is not possible unless they learn to open inside themselves. So they don't make the effort to love, and then illness is what brings attention to people. It's really extraordinary, huh?
Mm.
Does anyone else have a question? And just to finish this up, this meditation, it's all about learning to get free. That's what it's about. But you can't get free till you make it a priority and build a system inside yourself that gives you a direct link with higher energy in the universe. Your chakra system is so highly developed that it's just linked to God. That energy brings joy, it brings love. You don't need illusion to create joy and love. You're just joyous and happy because you're alive.
Mm.
Okay, if there are no more questions, then there'll be meditation on Sunday. I hope more people start showing up because, I
Yeah.
stopped the class on Sunday night because it was like this. I
Yeah.
stopped this class also because, this is very hard for me to do. I mean, yes, it works, I grow, but it's very hard for me to do. And if I don't get more of a commitment from people and more of a support from people, and they come and it becomes a priority, uh, what's the point? You understand? What's the point? I'm knocking my brains out here. Thursday, by the time Thursday's over, I'm like, oh, Jennifer was telling me Thursday's my Friday. Anyway, there'll be class on Sunday. Sunday, at 1 o'clock. There's no Sunday evening class. And I'm looking forward to seeing people. Have a great weekend and God bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Stuart.